Hey guys, it's me Ram here and welcome to Pyraminxers 1 Scramble Part 2. Alright, so here's the scramble at the top of the screen now. And now the tips.
Okay, so for this scramble, I would do the blue V, and I see something pretty nice here. So I would start off by solving this edge up here, then solving this edge, which means that I would have an ML3 because this edge still isn't solved. And on this ML3 case, you can cancel. So I'd start off by doing the tips, and then starting off my V. And at this point, it's the last move of the V, which is this, so you can see the case. It cancels, so I could do like this, and it solves the whole thing, so yeah.
Hey everyone, this is John. So for this scramble, this is actually a pretty difficult scramble in my opinion, at least for top first. There could be something good for V first, but I'm looking at top first here. So I would start in this orientation here, and this was the only good solution I saw anywhere, and you know, it's not even that great, so it depends on how you define good. But yeah, so I first saw that I could solve this edge, or not really solve, but I could put this edge here flipped using Oka, and then solving that one into there. When I do that, then the spot for this edge will, right here, will be here, so I can solve this center, which means I'll just have these two centers left, and then I would have done this before. I can track my last layer edges to see that this one ends up here, then gets kicked over to here, so the last layer is going to be a 4-mover going upwards like that. So let's go on ahead and do that, and then here we are at last 3 edges.
Basically, right off the bat, it's just terrible. I haven't looked at it in an optimal V finder, but I'm pretty sure the optimal V is 5 moves, which is really bad. It's almost always a 4-move V. The first thing I saw was on blue. You can just, you can move this so that you can bring down the center to line it up with that edge, and then bring down that center to solve it so that this edge is set up to line up with that, and then do that. So that's 5 moves. And then the other option was on green. You move that over so that you can do R' LR to solve the edge in the center and preserve like the place of the center, and then line that up and do that. And then you get a 6-move L3. And in this case, you get a sledge, which, yeah, is also a 6-move L3. But that's not the end of the story, because you don't want to be rotating if you're solving at a high level, I guess. You want to do ML3, which is where you can do the L3 from an alternate angle, so you don't have to rotate as much if you solve the V from a certain position. So I know all the algs as far as I know. So for the sledge, the 2 options you really have are, you can either do this or this. And normally you'd want to pick between them depending on how they affect AUF. But on this scramble, they both leave 1 move, so it's kind of irrelevant. And in terms of finger tricks, I prefer that one. Yeah, as it goes like that. But yeah, just the one that's R' sledge. And also, you can cancel a move with that one. Well, you can cancel... I'll just show you what I mean. So you start doing the V, as I explained. And then here you can either do... Well, you can do R' and go into the alg, but both of them start with like an R'. So you want to do the R. But the thing is, if you're doing this alg, then we'll just do that. But if you're doing the other alg, then you're going to do an R' at the start of the sledge, or an R2' at the start of the alg, depending on how you look at it. So if you're doing R', R2', that's just R3, which is pointless. So you can just do LRL', and then do that. So that's 1 move shorter. So here, I'd start off by executing these 2 tips, probably. I might do 3, but I think I'd be more likely to lean towards 2. Then you do that, and then just do LRL'. So the LRL' is a bit awkward. You'd have to do a regrip, but it's like a decent move count for a solve. Probably not like perfect, but it's quite good. And considering how trash the scramble was, I think it's quite nice. And that solution was the first thing I saw when I inspected this, which I did do ahead of time because last time I missed the best solution And yeah, my move counting was a bit off, so yeah. Hopefully that's useful. See you later.
Okay, for this scramble, I think I'll do the green V. I'll start from this angle and solve these two tips first. And then I'll bring this center down like this and solve this edge to here, like that. And then bring it down. And then I'll solve this edge to its spot. And I noticed that after I solve this piece will also be solved into here. So, just like that. Then I'll rotate and then we get this L3E case. Tip.
Okay, so what I would do for this scramble is, well, I'd really just start off with tips like I always do. And then I'd match this edge up with here. I'd be doing the red V. And then this edge is here, needs to go there. So when I'm solving that like that, I can just do it like that. And then, so that's how I do the V. And then it's just this pretty easy L4E.
Hi guys, it's Aniket and yeah, let's get into the scramble. So honestly, if I got this at a competition, I would probably do green. Yeah, this I wouldn't think of this as a good scramble. So I see this edge goes here, and this edge is an easy insert here. And if I do a sledge on blue, this yellow comes here, which makes a yellow block. So I'll have an easy L4E with the red and green edge. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll solve the two tips first. I'll insert this edge here. Put that center back. Now I'll insert this edge here, which causes the yellow block I was talking about. And now it's just an easy L4E with the green and red tip. But yeah.
Hello friends, so here's the scramble. So the first thing I saw was this 2-move Nutella top. Well, that wasn't very nice. And then I tried to plan out a yellow V here, but I couldn't really find anything too good. So then what I settled on was on a red V. So what I saw is if I did a BU, I can be 2 moves away from finishing my V. So I saw if I did L prime R L prime, I would have this ML4E case. So if you don't know, this ML4E is where you have L4E but like on a different angle. So this case is very nice. I can solve it like this. So what I saw was I could, after I did my BU, I could do an L prime, and rather than doing R L prime to finish my V, I can do R2 U prime R prime L prime. So here I'll walk you through that again. Okay, so let me find my solving orientation. Okay, so BU, L prime, R2, U prime, R prime, L prime, and then solved.
Okay, so I got kind of lucky with this solution. I first checked this green, red, blue top. So first thing I did was 3 tips. And I solved this edge into here while moving this edge to the back. And then I can just insert this edge here. And then I noticed that one move gives me 1 flip, and then I noticed that this is a 3 center case with a skip.
So this is definitely not the best scramble ever, but I have a solution that's decent and it's rotationless, which is nice. So I'm going to be doing green, so I'm going to put green on the bottom. The first thing that I'm going to do is just start off with these 2 tips, bring this center down, and before I bring this center down, I'll bring that edge over. And then what I'll do is just insert the yellow-green edge right there. And that just leaves me with this pretty easy L4E case, 2 sledges.
Hi guys, it's Dominik here and I'm going to show you my solution on this scramble. So I'm going to do that on blue. I will start with 3 tips and EU. Then I'm going to insert this edge in this place. Then L, U prime to insert this to this place. And I'm finishing V with R prime, then red grip, and we have sledge. So that's all from me. Thank you Ram for inviting me to this video, and bye.
Hello, this is Stephen Wintringham, also known as GhostCuber, and here is my reconstruction. So I tracked these three edges during inspection, and I did green V. So I saw that I can solve this piece with its center with RU, and that will push this green-yellow edge over here, so I can rotate and insert it with a hedge. And doing the R move will bring this edge down here, and the U move will rotate this center, so the blue is in front and yellow is on the right on this side. So then it'll be in position to insert the blue-yellow edge in the back with RU prime R prime. So I started with the tips like this, and then R, U, L, rotate, hedge, and then insert this edge here, and finish with this L3E.
It's Diego here, and today we're back for the second episode with this new Scramble. So, there is two ways to do it, V first and top first, sorry. I'm gonna show both, but I'm not really qualified to do top first, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so for V first, I think I'll start with these two tips. We can do the red or the blue V. I think that the blue is better. Because okay, so here you can do U R prime to have this block, L U prime R prime to have this V, row grip U prime, and then insert with that last tip. Okay, now for top first, you can see that pretty easy Nutella top with just two moves like this. Here I will put this center down like that. U R, U prime, and then the ALG, and then skip.
Hey guys, this is Viswath, and these are my solutions for Pyraminxers 1 Scramble. And starting off from my main solution, this will be my solution personally. And I also have some other solutions as well, so yeah, let's go through that later. And I'll do the red V. First I'll solve these two tips and then this tip. And now I'll do L, U, R, and then B. So we have the V over here, rotate, and L4E. And green V is also good for the scramble. I'll do these two tips first and then this tip and bring this down with an L and R, U prime, R prime, U prime. So I have the green V done, and now I have this L4E case which would look like this. And blue V is also having a good solution, and first I'll solve these two tips. Do a U prime, create a block, another U prime, create a block over here, and L U prime, and you get L3E straight away. That's it. And there is also another good solution with the blue V, so yeah, here I'll solve these two tips and then this tip. I'll do a U move, R prime, you have a block over here, L, U prime, R prime, and now you have L3E straight away, rotate, sledgehammer, U prime.
Okay, so on the scramble I did the red, blue, green top, and I started by solving this red, green edge like that, and then I solved this green, blue edge, and then I brought over, I solved that center and that center, and the entire puzzle solved, so just an easy 7-move solution.
Okay, so for the scramble, I think red might be a good option. So I would solve first, I would solve the center first, and then I see that I can do, this one will come up here because I'm going to do an R move, and I'll do a U to solve both of these. So I'll start with the tips like this, do a U, so both of these are solved, and the center is solved on the bottom, and I would do tips like that. And this one's an interesting L4E case. what I would do for this is do a U prime, and this one needs to go here. So I would actually insert it, and this gives us a 2 flip. So I would cancel into the 2 flip and insert like that.
Hi, it's Linus, and when I'm looking at the scramble, I can't see all that much, to be honest, but what I do see is if I do the green V, I can solve this piece at the same time. So this piece can be solved like this, for example. And yeah, so I'll start up by solving this tip and the second one, and then I'd do that. And now when I insert this piece in here, this piece gets solved as I planned, and this leaves me with a last 3 edges case. So I just solve the last tip and do my alg.
After looking at this scramble, I think the best option is to go for the green side. The first thing I can see is this edge over here, the green and blue edge. I can see that in this position, if I do an L, U prime R, I can get it into its slot over here and down in its position on the bottom layer. After this, I see that this green and yellow edge comes up here, which means that it needs an L, U, L prime to be inserted into its place down over here. That also orients this piece, the blue and yellow edge, in its correct spot. Unfortunately, it leaves the center slightly misaligned such that an L prime, U, L is needed to adjust the centers. That will leave me with an L3E with these 2 edges and bottom edge misoriented, which means that I'll likely have a U, R, U prime, R prime insert to finish them off. While I'm doing this, I'll start with the first 2 tips and finish the last tip for the last turn of the solve. It'll look something like this.
Alright, so I got a 275 on this scramble, and here's what I did. First glance, this scramble's pretty bad. And then I looked at blue, because this center right here is solved. And I saw this green edge. I knew this had to go right here. So, and then I did this. Solve this tip. U, R prime. And I noticed it solved this edge. L to solve this block, U prime, R prime to solve the V, and then rotate, solve this tip, U prime, sledge, U prime, tip. Oh, tip. Yep, there that is. Yeah, I did not like this scramble.
I'm going to be doing green. First I'll do these 3 tips, and I'll do RL, and then I'll do RU, R prime, RU, R prime, and then insert this last edge, and then do this 2 flip algorithm.
So for the video, unfortunately Luke Van Laningham was unable to provide me with a video reconstruction. Therefore, he just provided me with a written reconstruction, which is on the top of the screen. So basically what he did, ignoring tips, is just he started off by doing U, R prime, L, U prime, and then you can do an R prime to build the V. However, instead of doing R prime, he does an R and then D wide prime like this, and then L, and then just inserts this and gets no UF.